Okay, so this is the third recording, kind of a review of how to go about doing some of the basic steps in the project. Um, One thing I pointed out in class today is sometimes a feature will get selected for you, and I went ahead and selected these features by accident, and you can see they're all got this light blue cyan line around it. And if that happens and you want to unselect something, it's very simple to do. You just go Selection, Clear Selected Features, and it clears it for you. How I actually selected it is I clicked on the Select Feature tool, made that active. You see that tool is active now. And then I clicked on the file. Okay, and in this case, it actually selected members of both the boundary and the timber stance because both of those files were sitting, both of those maps were sitting where I clicked. So both of those were selected. So I'm just going to go ahead and unselect. I'm going to walk you through how you could select features later on. That becomes very important when you're trying to dial down and do things with a specific polygon or line or something like that. So especially when you're editing them, you need to be able to select the features. So we'll walk through that in a little bit. So we've been working so far in what's called the data view. You see that down at the bottom of the screen. And what this video is going to do is we're going to walk through how to create the final layout of your map. Okay, so I'm waiting for it to populate with the image, and again, it usually just starts off with a 8.5 11 by 11 sheet of paper, and you can modify that by going to File, Page, and Print Setup. And I was showing you in class that you could change that to a landscape, or you could change the size to larger, or you can type in any size paper that meets your needs. We're going to just keep it with the portrait because the Beatty property is longer north and south. Okay, so this selection tool here, as opposed to the select feature tool, this selects map elements. What is a map element? In this case, I'm selecting this whole map that was in the data view, and I've got these handles on it now, and I can resize just how big, how much of that sheet of paper is going to be filled with the map. Okay, so I also have this this layout toolbar that comes when you open up the layout, and I've got to zoom in and zoom out. So this zoom in zooms in the layout. So if I zoom in like this, it zooms the whole page up, okay? Not just the map on the page. I'm going to go back out again. If I pan, it pans the whole page around, okay? That may or may not be what I want to do, but I just wanted to differentiate that between the zoom in and the pan for the map itself. And those are done over here. Okay, there's the zoom in for the map, and there's the pan for the map. So if I want to zoom in the map and make it a larger, make it fill up more of the page, that's the zoom tool I need to use. Okay, and I think we talked about in class, you could actually type in what scale you'd like the map to be in. I think we found that 1 to 3600 worked pretty good. And but notice it's not centered directly, so I could use the pan now and grab it and slide the map over on, and it adjusts where the map is going to be on the page. Okay. Pretty easy stuff. Very nice, very nice, very nice. And then we walked through the process of inserting information. So we did a title, and I'm going to keep this very simple. I typed Beatty property, and clicked OK. It puts in a title that's may or may not be that easy to read. So I've moved it. Again, I had to use the select elements to select it. It's got that little cyan box around it, so it's selected. If I want to actually change things in it, I double click it Go change symbol. And I'm going to make it white. And I'm going to make the symbology a little larger. I'm going to make it a bigger font. And something else I showed you here, that's kind of a default text that sticks in there. I'm just going to go ahead and change that to Beatty property, and I can hit enter, and it moves me to the next line down, and I'll just say timber stands. Okay. Hit OK, and give it a second, and there we go. Okay, so I'm going to move that in, let it, and you could play around with that and get it to, go however you want it to go. All right, so the other thing that we inserted was we did a legend. I'm just kind of working my way down that list there. And I pointed out that there may be a lot of things in that list that you don't want in your legend, such as this world imagery, high and low resolution. That's kind of nutty stuff. So I clicked this double left arrow and it kicked everything out of the legend items. And then I'm just going to go back through and pick which ones I want. So I showed you before the select multiple files. You hold the shift key down to pick and choose certain files and select them. Notice I've just got parking and boundary now. All right, I'm holding the control key down in order to do that. Okay, if I let go of the control key and then click, then it just selects the one. Okay, so I'm going to actually select timber stands, streams, and parking, and I did that by holding the control key down and clicking on each one of those. So I'm going to move those over and click next. I'm going to just get rid of the legend, and I'm going to go next. Don't want no border, don't want no background fill. I'm going to make my streams lines that are ziggy. I'm going to make my timber stands areas that are wobbly. Click OK. And this is all just different sizes that I could set. And if you get more sophisticated with this, you can go ahead and set. It just spaces how far apart all these things go. We're not going to worry about that. Click on Finish, and there's our legend. My legend is in black. If I really wanted to, I could go back into the items. And for each of these items, I can select a different color so that I actually get white. And then hit OK. They're all white. As I pull the handles on this, it actually resizes the legend box. All right, the other thing I could do is insert the north arrow. Okay, I'm just going to use a standard black north arrow this time and move that down here. I can resize it, and it's black. It's a big chunk of black there. I can easily see that over the green color, so I'm not going to bother changing its color, but you could by selecting it and then clicking color, okay, and changing it. And then the last thing I'm going to add in this is a scale bar, and I'm going to leave that alternating black and white in this case just for fun. I'm going to change the properties so that it is actually using feet instead of miles. A lot of this stuff you could play with. You can change the colors, change the symbology, and all that kind of stuff. I'm just going to let it ride the way it is and move it wherever I want. Okay, I could resize it to represent an area that I'm looking for, and so there's all that good stuff. All right, and one other thing that I didn't show you is that I can include text. So it's giving me just a teeny tiny little spot there for my text, and I can type produced by J.A. Yike 7/19/2017. And there it is. Oops. I selected the wrong thing. So here we go. And by double clicking it, I can go ahead and change its color and its size. And I can make it italicized and all that good stuff. Hit OK. Move it wherever I want. I could resize it so it's a little smaller. And it looks like I shifted my map off here a little bit. I'm going to put it back where it belongs. And everything is hunky-dory. Okay? And so when you get things the way you like it, don't forget to click File, Save, and it still saves the project. Okay? And then if I want to go ahead and export this map, I go to File, Export. And I was telling you to save it as a PDF. Save the type as PDF. Make sure it's pointing to the right folder. And what I was saying was the right folder in this class is the Map Products folder. That's where we put our final products. The other thing I suggested is that you take a quick look at the resolution. That's how many dots per inch it's going to be doing. So the higher the number, the better resolution it's going to have, the more detailed resolution. And that could become kind of important. So, but it also makes the file quite a bit larger. So anyway, I got set to 600, and it's going through the process down here. You can kind of see it's thinking about doing all the drawing. And give it a second. It'll be all finished. There we go. It's going through the little bar, and it's done, essentially, I think. Oh, I guess not. And so when it's all finished, it says export complete down there at the bottom. And the other thing I was explaining that you might want to export it as is a JPEG. So I went to File, Export, and this time I just changed that to JPEG. And again, you want to check the DPI. I'll go 300 this time. And it's going to go through drawing all those stands again as well. And so when it's all done, those two files should be found in your folder, which I'm going to pull up here in a second. So here's the map products, and here's the Beatty3 that I just created. So that's the PDF. Okay. And here's the JPEG. That JPEG I showed you in class, I could pull that directly into a Word document. Okay, and then save the Word document. So there we go. That's part 3.